Yeah. Okay. Welcome to Hare Krishna Valley. My name is Keshava. I'm the manager here. This is our little piece of paradise in the Otways in this part of the world. This is a place where, as it says on our front door as you drive in, it says it's a place of natural living and higher thinking. So our motto here is to live naturally, live as much as possible close to nature, be dependent on the land. We milk our own cows here, we grow our own vegetables here, and we, as much as possible, try to live a simplistic life. My house, which is just over the back here, which if you want to have a look later, we can show you. It's an eco house, totally off-grid, mud brick, made of earth. And as much as possible, we try to live a simplistic life, uncomplicated life. The modern world is very complicated. Life is too technical these days, and as a result, people are not happy. You know, if all these modern technological advances were a good thing, then we'd all be happy. But people are becoming socially inept now. You know, if I want to contact you, I'll send you a text. You know, what's for lunch? It's strange. Even sometimes people in the next room, they contact me by email. A little strange. So that's the way the world has become. And the other part of our philosophy is higher thinking. To concentrate the consciousness, the mind, the body, the spirit, on understanding something much higher, a higher dimension. Ultimately, the spiritual reality, which we all come from. So that is our mission here at Hare Krishna Valley, is to educate people, to make their lives materially more simple and spiritually more progressive. So that's what we're here for. So we thank you all for coming today. Is anyone here for the first time? Okay, nearly everyone. So what we do, we just ask if anyone has any questions that you'd like to ask about the meaning of life, the universe, and everything. We have some answers like that. So there's anything you just wanted to always ask a Hare Krishna person, you have our undivided attention. We'll give you our full, we'll answer your questions as best we can. So if anyone has any questions they'd like to ask about anything, then we can have a discussion. Madam?
What led you to Hare Krishna?
What led me to it? What made me convinced to take up this path? That's what you mean? I was born in Melbourne, and when I was young, I had a pretty normal childhood, quite a happy childhood. But I always had, from a very young age, a spiritual calling, something within myself, which I think was there from my previous life. Because when I was 5 years old, I made my parents buy me a children's Bible, and they weren't religious. You know, we didn't have any that kind of thing in our house, but I said, no, I said, give me a children's Bible. So they would read it to me at night before I went to bed. So it's like I had this spiritual calling, something. And then as I got older, I used to get up Sunday morning and go to Sunday school of my own accord. My parents just slept in. I'd get up, go down the road with my neighbours, jump in their car and go to Sunday school. I just wanted to know about things. I don't know, it was something in me, something from a previous life. I was born in 1969, so in the 70s there was a TV show called Kung Fu. Does anyone remember Kung Fu? Yeah, you probably remember. Like, young people, you don't remember. It's an old show. From the old...
That old?
What's that? I mean, those of us who are more progressed in life. So, like that. It was a 1970s show, like that, back in the hippie days. So there was a scene in it where when he was young, he was a young monk, he was bald, and they called him Grasshopper, and he lived in the ashram. And when I saw that when I was 5 years old, I think that's me. Bald, living in the ashram, wearing the robes, and now I'm bald. living in the ashram, wearing the robes, like it all happened. So I used to think that's me. I had some attraction to that kind of monastic life. And then, as I got older, then you become distracted by the world. You become a teenager and distracted. So I was a tennis player. So I used to play competition tennis, and I was fully absorbed. I was going to Wimbledon. That was my focus in life. And then, as I got a little bit older, then a few, how would you say, like significant events took place in my life. One of my brothers passed away, tragically. So I was 15 at the time, and that was like an awakening for me. It was like my previous life came to the forefront once again, and I had like a spiritual awakening in the sense that I really needed to find out the answers to life. Why are we here? What's this about? Where we're going to? Because I saw life is tottering like a drop of water on a lotus petal. It's described like that in our ancient teachings. So a drop of water at any time, just a sudden movement it's gone. So that's what our mortality is like in this world. We can go at any time. There's no guarantee. I could be the oldest person in this room, in the sense that I may leave this world today. I mean, that may be my destiny. I eat too much at the feast and then I have a cardiac arrest on the way back to my house. I've heard that Hare Krishnas have died from overeating. I've heard that. I've never actually known anyone, but someone told me. In South America, is it true? I heard some South American, they ate too much sweets later or something, and then everything just completely blocked up, and they was like... So the South Americans, they can't control themselves, so I don't know. Might be true, might be not, but anyway. So mortality is there, that's a reality of this world. Actually in Sanskrit, this world we're living in is called Marchaloka. Marchaloka literally means place of death. That's the reality. I'm not trying to be too negative on a Sunday afternoon. Good vibes and peace and love and everything. But I'm just speaking reality. Now this is a place of death. That's all that's happening. I mean, if we go out 1 kilometre around us in every direction, there's just death taking place everywhere. There's insects dying. It's like it's a battlefield out there. It's not peaceful. We think, oh, it's so beautiful and everything. Like there's a war going on. Insects are killing each other, like birds are coming down. You see that, because all the eagles live around here. The wedge-tailed eagles are like 6 foot wide span. They fly around. You see them flying around. And then you see them, they're just flying and suddenly they swoop. Find a snake or a rabbit or something, just it's gone. So it's a battlefield. So the nature of this world is that it's temporary. And when I was 15, I had some, I suppose, reality check about what this world is actually like. So it made me become very focused spiritually. So then, from the age of 15 onwards, I became a real seeker. I started reading everything, Buddhism, Baha'i, just anything Eastern philosophy, to understand higher dimensions. And then I left school and I became an actor, or an acting student. I was studying with the Actors Studio in New York. They were sending their teachers to Melbourne and we were studying. So I was studying with people from the cast of Cats. There's like a musical that was on and like that. We're all studying together. And I was doing some part-time modelling and things like that to make some money. And I was feeling more and more empty inside. Like, what's life actually about? So I needed fulfillment. And then my grandmother, I was at her house one day. I was actually supposed to be doing a modelling course, which was as boring as hell. So I wasn't at the course. So I was at my grandmother's place because she wouldn't tell my mother I wasn't at the course. And then she had a book on her shelf which was called Coming Back. It was about reincarnation. It was a Hare Krishna book. So I picked that up and read it for 2 hours, and after 2 hours of reading it I just became completely amazed by the knowledge which was contained within. And it gave me the understanding that I was answering questions which I had but I couldn't articulate. So I had my questions answered, but I still had a few material desires, ambitions. I wanted to become a world-famous actor, and a friend of mine had a yacht which he was going to sail to the Mediterranean and pick up another yacht and sail it back. So I thought I'll jump on the yacht and sail it and come back. So after about 6-9 months, I didn't become a world famous actor, and my friend's boat was still sitting in the docks. So then I realised I had to do something. I need to move forward with my spiritual quest. So then I went to the Hare Krishna temple in Melbourne, and I walked in there, and as soon as I walked in, it was like I felt like this was where I'm meant to be, like a ashram, a home. And then, 30 years later, I'm still dancing with my tambourine and eating the Hare Krishna food. Yeah, it's a good way of life. The founder of the Hare Krishna movement, Prabhupada, who's sitting there on the altar, he's the one who brought it to the West in 1965. He's our founder, the founder of the Hare Krishna movement. It's an ancient tradition, but he brought it to the Western world and delivered it. So he once said that even if Krishna is not God, we do believe that Krishna is God. Krishna is the blue boy in all the pictures around the temple. That's under God's a blue cowherd boy. We're radical. We believe radical things. We believe God's a blue cowherd boy. I'm convinced he's a blue cowherd boy. You know, he spends his days dancing and having picnics and feeding peacocks on the side of the river. That's my kind of God. You know, I'd like to hang out with that guy. So Prabhupada once said, even if Krishna is not God, still our lifestyle is the best. So Hare Krishna, it's just a good lifestyle. The last 30 years, I got to travel all over the world. I go to India every year for a pilgrimage for a month, and we live here in a beautiful place. We eat the best food. I mean, Hare Krishna food's pretty good, isn't it? Yeah, I'm an addict. I've been fighting it for years, but I can't stop. I just have to have Hare Krishna food every day. So, the food's wonderful, the people are wonderful, the lifestyle is wonderful, it's very peaceful. So that's how I became. Everyone's got their story, like how they did it. So, any other questions? Yes, madam.
Hi.
Christabel.
How you doing?
Yeah, I'm here.
So, if you came to discover, I guess, like a lot of us do, that life is transient and that it's a blink of an eye. What do the Hare Krishnas believe the purpose of life is? Why? To live simply and to do less impact and to be of service. What?
Why do we exist?
Yeah.
Is that the question?
It
Why
is.
do we exist? Yeah.
In a nutshell.
Yeah. So the basic point, according to the Bhagavad Gita, have you heard of the Bhagavad Gita? Yeah, it's an ancient book of knowledge from India. This is like our Bible. It's like the main book of knowledge. We have many books, but this is the beginning book. The Bhagavad Gita explains that we are not the body, we are the soul. The body is just the yantra in Sanskrit. Yantra means machine. So you're not your car. The car got you here today, but then you get out of the car and you move on. And you might get another car. You might enter another car. That's just the machine. So at this point in time, the body is the machine which is carrying the soul. We're entrapped within this body. When we die, we go into another body. Like changing cars, getting a new car, and then you take off. So, originally we did not have a car, we did not have a body. We were spiritual, we are spiritual by nature, but we were living in the kingdom of Krishna, kingdom of God, heaven, whatever you want to call it. Vaikuntha, the spiritual world, however you want to define it. There's another world. This is not it. These days people think this is it. This is not it. I mean, this is it, then God help us. It's not that good. So this is all there is. I mean, obviously this is not the sum and bone or the height of existence. If like Geelong winning the AFL Grand Final is the height of your existence, that's wonderful. Yeah, we will pray for you. So, but for many people that's like their ultimate existence. It's like, the most ridiculous things. A few years ago we had the Soccer World Cup. Some of you might be into the soccer. And we had it was in Brazil. And Brazil played Germany in the semi-final. Don't know if you saw the match, if you're interested in those kind of things. and Germany won 7-0, was it? From memory, it was 7-0. The funniest thing I've seen in my life. Like you should, because it was in Brazil, and Brazil was in the semi-final, just about to make the grand final. And it is their religion in Brazil. Soccer is their religion. I mean, they're Catholics, they're also very strong in that, but it's like, you know, every time they kick a goal, it's like, you know. So it was so funny because, you know, Germany kicked a goal, and then they kicked a second goal, and they kicked a third goal, and you saw the faces of the people in the crowd. They, you know, scanned the whole 100,000 people. People were crying. People were like, you know, starting to look at each other like, is this actually happening to us? Like that. And then goal 4, 5, 6, 7. It was one of the funniest things I've seen in my life. Because it's just a couple of boys wearing shorts, kicking leather into a net. Let's get it back to what it is. That's what it is. It's not anything more than that. I mean, after when we have our feast, if you want to go out, I've got a ball, we'll just kick it around, and you know, at the end of it, I think, oh my God. I didn't kick enough goals. You know, it's like, it's just a game. So originally we were in the other world, in the spiritual world. But Krishna gives us independence, free will. Because the essence of existence, why do we exist? We exist to love. How is love shown? Through service. If you love someone, you do something for them. Say, hey, come over to my house, I'll cook you something. So love is shown through service. That's the essence of existence. So we were loving Krishna, God, living with him. You can see everyone with him in the pictures. You know, they're all with him. They're cooking for him. They're serving him. They're doing things for him. And it was all good. But he gives us free will, independence, because he doesn't want to force anyone. Because if you force someone to love you, that's not love. Just like, you know, I lecture a lot like this. So one time I was in someone's house and I was making this point, and I had a 6-year-old kid sitting next to me. So, you know, to make the point, I said to the kid, I said, do you love me? He goes, no. And I said, yeah, you've got to love me, right? Like I'm a Hare Krishna devotee and peaceful now. He goes, no. And I said, well, we're going to have a feast afterwards, I'll give you more sweets. He said, no. You know, because you can't force someone to love you. It must be given by its own free will. So Krishna does not force us. So at some point in time we made a wrong turn. You know, we thought, oh, you know, I'll be independent, I'll get it out of my system. You know, like when you're growing up, you become a teenager. You know, now I've got to get it out of my system, I've got to do it my way. You know, I'm a teenager now, so I've got to, you know, dress the way I want to, and, you know, I'll get a mohawk and, you know, so it's just an expression of independence. So we were like that. We're in the spiritual world, but we wanted to get it out of our system. Krishna said, no problem, I'll put you down there. Right? And then where are all the people getting it out of our system? This is where we live. Right? In Marchaloka, the place of death. So he says, you're eternal, but you go down there and I'll give you bodies which die perpetually. And he calls this place Dukalayam Ashashvatam. Dukalayam means place of suffering. Ashashvatam means it is temporary. So go there and enjoy yourself, but by the way, it's temporary and you'll suffer a lot. But have a good time. So then, why is it like that? Because it's a reformatory center. This is where we are now. It's actually, in Sanskrit, it's called Durga. Durga means a prison house. We're all trapped in here. You know, try to get back to the spiritual world. Not so easy. You need someone to take you. So we're all down here, and we're in but it's a reformatory center. So when we start getting it out of our system, actually I did make a mistake. I do want to come back. I do want to serve and love you purely again. And Krishna says, no problem. Right? Here's the Hare Krishnas. You know, get into it. We'll show you how to serve Krishna purely again, and then you can go back to be with Krishna. So that answers basically why we exist. We exist to love and serve. But at the moment we're trying to love and serve in a place which is full of selfishness. And that's why we never find a perfect relationship here. I mean, has anyone here ever found a perfect relationship in this world? One. What about that? You're either really delusional or you're...
Or she's in the room.
Or your wife is 2 feet away from you. My wife's out there, so if she was in the other side, yeah, I found a perfect relationship. Yeah, damn right I found a perfect relationship. You're an intelligent guy. But in reality, like that, there are no perfect relationships here, because everyone here, all of us, me included, where we have some selfishness within ourselves. So as long as we have some selfishness, we'll always relate with everyone, but there'll be something that we want out of the relationship, and it can never be perfect as long as we have that consciousness. When we become selfless, which is difficult, but that's what our training ground, that's what this is for, then we learn to love Krishna again in a selfless way. That qualifies us to go back and stay with him forever. Otherwise, we have to keep taking birth again until we get it right. It's okay, we'll be around. Even when we die, this farm will still be here. You can still come back. The Sunday feast will still be on.
Right.
You know, you'll get your cauliflower pakoras.
Wonderful.
You're welcome.
Thanks for that.
You're welcome. It's a good question.
Okay.
Any other questions? Yes, sir.
Christianity has got laws, 10 commandments, shall we say.
Yeah.
If you follow them really to the letter, you're doing exactly the same as what you are. So you've got, say, sort of laws, or maybe not laws, but things that you can go by to make yourself better and to serve other people better. Are we all not striving, if we believe in something like that, aren't we not all striving for the same thing?
Yeah. There's only one person up there. It's not that you go back to the spiritual world and the Catholics are over there, and you know, the Buddhists are over there, and the Jehovah's are over there, and the Hares are over there. You know, Alpha is the best, but you know, it's not like that. It's all like everyone's separate. There's only one entity. Down here, people get confused. And so everyone here, this place is covered with avidya. Avidya means ignorance. So people are ignorant down here, you know, because they're disconnected from Krishna. So that because of ignorance, then they say there's difference. You know, I am a Christian because I follow the teachings of Jesus. So I'm a Christian. I'm also a Hare Krishna. I'm also a Buddhist. I'm also a Mohammedan, Islamic follower. I'm also a Jew. I'm also a Hindu. I'm all of them because I follow it all. So. Problem is these days people say they're this or that, but it's like rubber stamping. It's like getting rubber stamping going on your head. Like I'm a Christian, I'm a Jew, I'm a Buddhist, I'm a Hindu, but they don't actually, most people don't follow it anyway. Most people who say they're Christian, they don't actually follow it. Like you said, there's 10 commandments, right? 10. So one of them is thou shalt not kill. So Prabhupada, our founder, the founder of the Hare Krishna movement, whenever he would meet with Christian priests and all those things, he would always stress this point. Why does it say in your Bible, thou shalt not kill, but you eat meat?
Yeah.
So then one time he was having this discussion, it's on video actually, you can see it. It was with one of the cardinals from France. He was in Paris and he was speaking to him. And the cardinal was saying, oh, the animals don't have souls. And Prabhupada said, no. He said, according to the Bhagavad Gita, wherever you see life, that means the soul is present. So the plants are alive, that means the soul is present. Right? This book stand, right? There's no soul there, so there's no life. But if something is growing and showing consciousness, that means life, the soul is there. You do not have permission because I cannot create life, so I can also not take life. Right? If you want to take life, you have to get a permit from, you know, and he doesn't.
You're never going to get.
Yeah, exactly my point, which you're never going to get. You're never going to get a permit. So if you're going to take life, then you have, I mean, except in exceptional cases, it actually says in our teachings, you know, if there's famine, you know, if like the world fell apart suddenly and then, you know, there was nothing to eat, and it was like I had to sustain my life until such a time that we could grow vegetables, then yes, we can take other life. But that's such an exceptional situation, which I never expect to be in. I hope not. But, you know, if that, under those circumstances, then yes, you can. But otherwise, we don't have permission. So Prabhupada would always say, you say you're a Christian, but then you're killing the animals. It says in the Bible, thou shalt not kill. So a lot of people say, I am Krishna, I'm this, I'm that, but are they actually? That's the point. So I would say I am closer, and I'm not saying in an egotistical way, but I'm closer to what would have been taught originally in the teachings. I actually practice those things. So I could truly say I am a Christian to the best of my ability. I'm following the actual teachings. So, is there anything else you want to clarify?
No, can I talk to you later?
Yeah. I'm around. No problem. Yeah, ma'am.
So you can't kill anything, but what if you have like a rat infestation or something here?
Yeah, so then you have to be practical as well.
Yep.
Like that. We try as much as possible to use ahimsa traps, like that. But sometimes, as you see, we actually have plagues here, literally, like that. So at that time, if we have to, then we'll do the necessary. If it means our crops are going to be completely decimated, then those kind of things. But as much as possible, that'll always be the last resort. It's like, you know, we practice ahimsa. Ahimsa means non-violence. So we'll practice that to its furthest length, or as much as we can, as much as practical. Like I'll never kill anything unnecessarily, you know, unless it comes to, you know, a circumstance where we're talking about survival, those kind of things. But otherwise you should not, like that, as much as possible. So. Any other points?
Question, Keshava, we talked last night about, I suppose, the origins of Hare or Hinduism, I suppose, and I forgot his name,
Prabhupada?
took Hare Krishna to the West in the 70s. Did it exist in India long before that?
Yeah.
Or did it sort of originate in the 70s as a branch off or something?
No, it's been there for, as we said last night, for 5,000 years. The Bhagavad Gita is said to be spoken 5,000 years ago. Hare Krishna, what we call the Hare Krishna movement, is the modern, not interpretation, but modern representation of the ancient teachings, which has been translated into the West. What Prabhupada did is actually historically never been done before. To bring something, I mean, if you look at the Hare Krishna lifestyle, right, we're pretty devout or serious or pretty into what we do, right? So as we were saying before, like in Christianity, they have certain things you should not do. So when we take vows in our movement, there's 4 things we vow not to do. So we won't have sex outside of marriage, right? And in the highest sense, only to procreate children. We'll never eat meat. We won't gamble, and we won't take anything intoxicating or addictive. Right? They're like our 4 pillars that we accept when we take initiation or into. So Prabhupada came to America in 1965, right in the middle of the hippie movement, flower power. Right? And when he arrived, that's all everyone was doing. Right? Taking every drug you could take. Right? Everyone was on LSD. The whole of America was floating when Prabhupada arrived. Right? People were eating meat. It was just like, you know, meat was just, every McDonald's was just taking off. Illicit sex. I mean, the whole hippie movement was like, no boundaries, man. You know, do whatever you want to do. Do what you want to do, be what you want to be. What was the next word? Yeah, I think so. So that was the whole, you know, the Prabhupada came into that and said, actually, we're going to do the opposite. And he attracted hundreds and thousands of people just on his purity. So it's actually amazing. No one's ever done that historically. Walked into a circumstance which was so anti-establishment, anti-institution, anti-structure, anti-everything, and then transplant something pure and make it grow and make it become, you know, practically possible. And same for me. Like I grew up, I wasn't doing any of those things. I was eating meat and having sex and intoxicating, doing everything that everyone does in society. And then like my life became, you know, I've got like the inner discipline or strength to do it based on his purity or his inspiration. So it's actually quite an extraordinary situation. So yeah, it's been around for thousands of years. This is just the modern version of it. And we're trying to make it as reachable and accessible and practical for everyone in the modern age without watering it down to the point where it becomes but we're trying to make it as easy for everyone. And it's a pretty easy process. You know, what we did before, the crux of the whole thing is just the chanting. Right, so you just get all together and you chant, get your friends together, you know, get married down to King Parrot and we just have a little bit of a chant, you know, if you want, it's optional. A little bit of a chant, get the Haris in there. So, but that what we did there, it's called Sankirtan, that can actually create world peace. Because while you're doing that, you're chanting the names of Krishna, of God, everything becomes spiritualized, purified. And because of that, it just creates peace within the atmosphere. So we could do it right now. We can make world peace just by getting everyone together and just chanting. So that's the essence of it. So it's a very easy process. You know, it's free. You can practice it in your own home. You can do it by yourself. You can do it with others. Yeah, I just chant by myself. You know, if I'm feeling a little bit down, I just put my hands in the air and just run off there into the paddocks. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. You can do that. So, you know, if you're at home, you know, just in your kitchen, go around your kitchen table. You know, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Well, it works. And we could create world peace. You can get all the world leaders right now. There's a bit of a tension starting to form. You know, surprise, surprise. You know, the world's beginning to become tense. Donald. Who's the others?
Bhutan.
Yeah, Bhutan. And, yeah, all of them. Yeah, you know them. Kim Jong Chan Yong, like there's a bit of tension arising. So just get them all together and say, boys, and Donald, we're going to do a bit of chanting now. I know it's different for you, but this is what we're going to do, and then we could evaporate everything. And that's real leadership. They actually should be showing the example to everyone else. That's what you should be doing. But unfortunately, he is. He's not an entirely bad person, but he's too distracted by material things at this point in time. A friend of a friend of mine who I see in India every year, a friend of his, so I've never met, but he's a professional tennis coach. His name's Peter Burwash. He won the Canadian Open back in the 70s, and he's a Hare Krishna. So he was at the US Open, and he was in a private box, and this is before Donald became president, but they were in the box together, and a number of people were in there, and Donald was in there, and he said the whole time, they're playing on the court, he had binoculars, and he was just looking around the crowd for beautiful girls, right? And when he found one, he said to his assistant, go and ask her to come up to the box. And he said he did that the whole couple of hours. He's in the box with him, just scouting, just like that. And now we're hearing, in the news that, he's been having affairs. And we know, of course, everyone knows it's true. I think he's been having affairs and like that. So he's just distracted, that's all. So that's not a real leader. A real leader needs to be disciplined and controlled. Otherwise you're going to lead the rest of the world down the path you're following, and it's really working for him. You can see he looks so healthy and happy and, good. Just like I'd like to become. I'd love to look like him in 20 years. Just be awesome. Awesome. Any other questions? Everyone is attained enlightenment. You look enlightened. Any other questions? Anyone has?
Keshava, sorry, somebody was asking in retreat.
Yes, madam.
Hi.
Oh. First time here?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Yes. Just the impact of the sound of the Hare Krishna words and what they actually mean when you use them. Can you just go over that?
The mantra, the meaning of the mantra.
Yes, please.
Yeah, that's good. So there's only 3 words in the mantra. There's Hare, Krishna, and Rama. So Krishna and Rama, they're names of the Supreme, of God himself, of Krishna, the cowherd boy, the blue cowherd boy. Krishna means one who is all attractive. By definition, if you are an individual who is attractive to every other person in existence, you must be God. You must be Krishna. That's the definition. So there's no one of us who is attractive to everyone else, because we don't have that completeness. It says in the ancient teachings, Aishwaryasya samagrasya viryasa yashashaha shriyaha jnana vairagyascha shanam bhaga itingana. It means there are 6 traits which make us attractive to others. The first one is Aishwarya. Aishwarya means opulence, wealth. Right? If someone's wealthy, everyone focuses on that person. Like if Bill Gates walked in here right now, everyone would be like watching, like, because wealth is attractive. Virya means strength. If someone's strong, everyone's attracted. Like with the Commonwealth Games now. A friend of mine said on Facebook last night, she runs a restaurant in Gold Coast, so the place is dead because everyone's at the Commonwealth Games. And the government said it's going to be good for business, but actually it's the opposite, like that. So if someone's strong, everyone's going to watch all the athletes and everything like that. It's attractive. Yasha means fame. If someone's famous, everyone's attracted to them. Famous people, if you pick up any magazine in the shop, it's all about famous people. We're all attracted if someone's famous. Yeah, like that. You shouldn't pick up those magazines, but if you do. Something else, okay. Yasha Shriya. Shri means beauty. If someone's very beautiful, everyone's attracted to them. That's why beautiful people are on the front of magazines and so forth. Jnana means very wise or learned. If someone's very wise or learned, people will come to hear from him. Albert Einstein, all these people, they're known for their learning, it's attractive. And Vairagya. Vairagya means renunciation or detachment. Like someone like the Dalai Lama, like detached from this world. That's also very attractive. So if you have all 6 of those things unlimitedly, then you're God. You're Krishna. And then you're attractive to everyone. And then the word Rama means one who gives pleasure. It means unlimited pleasure to others. So these names of Krishna. The word Hare is, as we said last night, you see Krishna's with the girl in the picture. So that is Radha, or that's his female consort. She is the source of devotion or source of love. She is his best friend. So Hare refers to the female aspect of the divine, and Rama and Krishna refer to the masculine aspect. So when we chant the names are pure. Binitwa nama nama no. Shakespeare said, a rose by any other name is still as sweet. So you call a rose a daffodil, still smells the same. And the name is just imposed, right? So you can change your name, but you're still the same person. So the name is superficial. But in the case of Krishna, the case of God, the name is eternal. It doesn't change. He doesn't change his name. Like after, 60,000 years, he said, well, now I call myself Leroy. Hare Leroy, Hare Leroy, Hare. Doesn't happen. The mantra is eternal. His names are eternal. They're full Nija Sava Shaktis, means they have all the potency, all the energy of him within them. So that's why when we chant, he is present, and you feel his presence, and then you feel blissful. People say Hare Krishna, people look happy. So that's our secret. We chant about 2 hours a day in meditation, the mantra. And that has a purifying effect on the consciousness. Actually makes one effulgent or blissful. And then one feels naturally happy. And that happiness emanates. I don't know if it's true because I'm a Hare Krishna, so I can't tell. But people quite often tell us, they do say to us, oh, you guys are so happy. What's your secret? Like that. So it's pretty easy what the secret is. It's just the chanting. And it's the food. Because the food is offered to Krishna. The food is offered. Just like now, my wife, she has the food there. Before we eat anything, any of our food, we offer it to Krishna, to God, to the pictures. And he himself comes, and he actually, not into our vision, because we don't have the vision to see, but he takes the food, it becomes purified, blessed, spiritualized or sanctified. Then when you eat the Hare Krishna food, just by eating it, it's purifying the consciousness. And then people become attached to the Hare Krishna food. I've been a Hare Krishna for years. Like people have assailed me in different places around the world. They say you're a Hare Krishna, they just walk out and say, have you got any of the food? It's like they're possessed or something. You got the food. Even I've told people, like, the day my father left this world, he died. I went to see him, so I walked in and there was a nurse there, and everybody, looked like a Hare Krishna. Walked in. She goes, "Have you got any of the food?" I was kind of like, well, I do actually, yeah, because I come to see my father and give him some. So, fortunate for her. But there is something powerful. So it's just touching the spiritual energy, because we're in the material world, but by touching the spiritual energy, the pure sound of the mantra, the sanctified food, it purifies the consciousness, moves you to the spiritual platform. If it doesn't work, we'll give you your money back. It works. Any other questions?
Can you explain a little bit more about when you said that purity is a force? Instead of purity.
Purity is the force.
How can we see it also in our life? It's like, I want to get a little bit of that.
What's the question?
Yeah, like why purity is a force, and how can we kind of like make it into our lives? How can we embrace it?
Yeah, if someone is pure, then they become attractive to others. You trust people who are the people you trust in this world? People that you don't think are going to exploit you. So if we have that kind of purity, where we're not trying to exploit others, people will become attracted to us. They will trust us. So the whole process of everything we do, our chanting and our devotion, all of the activities we do, it is to purify us. Right? And when you become purified, you become pure, people will naturally be attracted to you. They'll trust you. And what's one of the biggest crises we have on this earth right now is people have lost faith. They don't trust. I don't listen to the media much. I don't have a television. I don't listen to the radio very much. I don't look at the internet very much, a little bit. But I was listening to the radio the other day. I was driving to Melbourne, so I turned it on, because I live out here in the forest. I don't listen to the radio while I'm here. I'm kind of like detached from the world. And I was going back towards crazy land. So I thought I'd turn on to see what's going on out there. And then after 5 minutes, I had to turn it off. This one's abused this one, and this one's done that one, and this one's like that. And it's like, what is that? And people are losing faith, they're losing trust. We don't trust politicians, we don't trust priests, we don't trust so many things now. That's one of the biggest problems which we're facing as a society. So if you can develop the purity where people can trust you, and you are trustworthy, it becomes extremely powerful, because then you can assist people in attaining their higher goals in life. So everything we do is to develop that purity. And if you develop them, people will trust you. Okay. You want to add anything? Any other points? Anything? Bueller? Anything?
Okay, I'll ask a question.
Oh, okay.
So I've just discovered Hare Krishna,
Okay.
and
Welcome.
thank you very much. And about a month ago.
Yeah, okay.
So
Where are you from?
I'm Maltese,
Maltese.
from Malta.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, nice.
And I got captivated. Like I feel that something was attracting me very much towards Hare Krishna. And so I started going to Bhagavad Gita lessons. And
In Melbourne or in Malta?
in Melbourne.
Okay.
So while I was here. And eventually, like for the last week, because I'm leaving Australia tomorrow, I decided to spend the last week in an ashram to be fully absorbed and be part of it. And my question is, because in Malta there isn't the fire. There are no temples. I know only a few devotees, and therefore I will not be, close to the fire. And also, before I got to know about Hare Krishna, of course, I was living an everyday life, let's put it like this. Like, I don't like to use the word normal,
Yeah.
but I was living, you know, as a student before, and then I graduated, and then I worked in my profession. So when I go back to Malta, probably, in order to, you know, be able to sustain myself, I will have to work in my profession. So my question ultimately is, how can I incorporate Hare Krishna into my profession and my everyday life back at home when there are no fires?
Yeah. How old are you?
28.
28. Are you married or
No,
no relationship or anything?
no.
My advice to you is go to an ashram somewhere in the world and stay there and absorb yourself. What you did the last week, do that for 2 years. Absorb yourself. That's what I did myself. I did for 8 years. Between the age of 19 and 27, I just lived in the ashram and just fully absorbed myself. And they were the happiest days of my life. You're at a point in your life, you don't have any real commitment.
Yeah, that's true.
Right, so this is like a opportunity that you have. So this is my advice. You do whatever you want to do. That's
Yeah,
your,
yeah.
like that.
That's why I'm asking you for
Yeah.
advice.
So I'm giving you my advice. My advice is you do what I did. Just absorb yourself fully like that, because it's the best life. You wake up in the morning, you got nothing to do except serve God, serve Krishna. Totally happy. No responsibility, nothing. You just fully give yourself, and it's the most blissful life. Or you can go back and be like everyone else in this room, work in a job, work in a corporation, do stuff that you may not even like. Hands up if you like your job or like your work.
If you like it.
Yeah, if you like it. Yeah, there's a few people. Okay, that's good. That's good. There's some people do. Hands up if you don't. There's a few people. Yeah, there's always. Yeah.
Yeah.
Some people just can't like that. So, you know, some people are fortunate, they do have a job they like. If you do have a job that you like and you want to connect that to Krishna, then work in that job. And then at the end of the week, we work for fruit, right? These days we call it money, right? That's what we do. So you work hard all week. If you don't get money, you're not going to work. So at the end of the week, when you have some money, you give some of that to Krishna. You know, to our farm, to look after our cows, or to run our temples, or like that. That's how we run our movement. Because people, you know, they generously give donations. If you'd like to give a donation at the end of our program, just leave your donation in the donation box there. We do appreciate donations because it helps us to do this, what we do here, to help people like that. So we do appreciate it. So if you are going to do that life, then you have to connect it to Krishna. Otherwise, what's the point of it? Just go empty. But my advice, just find an ashram and, you know, come back to Melbourne or New Zealand. We have some good ones as well. In Europe, we have some good ones in Europe. And then when you're strong and you have learning and you have knowledge, then maybe you can go back into Malta, and then you can open something in Malta. But first, you have to, like you said, you have to stay close to the fire for a little bit.
That's right.
Get warm. Then once you're warm, then you can. That's my advice. You do whatever you want. Send me an email when you decide. And then
Hare Krishna.
you're welcome. Thank you for coming. Any other?
Thank you.
Yes, madam.
Can you enlighten us about karma? Repercussions of karma, good or bad?
Karma.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's 3 types of karma. There's karma, vikarma, and akarma. According to the Bhagavad Gita, there's 3 types. And vikarma means doing very bad things. And then karma, literally the word karma means action, right? Action. So this is an action, right? When I throw something, that's an action, right? That's an action. Karma. Karma means activity. So if I throw this right now at someone, like, whoa, and hit them in the face, that's called vikarma. That's bad. And then what will happen to me? I'll get the reaction back. You know, they'll probably come over here and like hit me. Or they may be a nice person, just turn the other cheek. But then tomorrow I might be walking down the street somewhere and then some guy just walks out of nowhere and just goes bang and hits me. Or something bad will come to me in the future. That's karma. Right? Equal and opposite reactions. For every action there's a reaction. So that's vikarma. Karma means good works. We do good things for people. You know, you help an old lady across the road, that when you're old, someone will come and help you across the road. That's karma. Now, akarma, which is what we practice, means it's not to do with this world, but it's about doing your activities for the pleasure of Krishna or God or spiritual activities. And if you do those activities, then the reciprocation you get is directly from that realm. Right? It's not about, it doesn't bind you in this world. It actually liberates you out of this world. Does that make sense? Does everyone kind of follow the basic? Yeah. So karma, vikarma, and akarma. So we recommend akarma, or we call it bhakti yoga, or devotion. And we're going to have a bhakti yoga retreat here in May. They've got a poster up over there. So in May we'll have, and people can come here and live with us, and for a weekend you can practice some bhakti yoga or devotional activities. Does that clarify or answer?
Can I ask a quick one?
Just wait. Do anything else you want? It's okay. Yeah.
So you have a cow shelter here, and you have
Goshala.
Goshala, and you help keep these cows for a long time,
Yeah.
and care for the cows, which is completely contradictory to what the industry is doing outside, which is one of the main reasons me and my family are here to see that.
Yeah.
And so that is when we, and this is for everybody's enlightenment, we can add on to it. If we go out there and maybe try to feed the cows or adopt the cows, something like that, that's a karma we are creating, which is direct service to him, which will come back to us.
No, if you just go out, like if there's just cows, like somewhere out in the paddock, and you go and speak, that's karma, that's good work.
Okay.
It becomes devotional, akarma, or spiritual, when you're keeping the cows in a protected way and they do not get killed, and you're using the milk or anything which comes from them in service to Krishna. Right?
And not consume the milk, you see.
You can consume the milk if it comes from protected cows.
Protected.
If you get it from the industry out there where they kill the cow, then that's you're getting the karma from drinking that milk. But these cows here, because they're protected and they're Krishna's cows, they're God's cows, and we look after them, then if you take their milk, there's no karma. They actually like to give their milk because they have the heart, they're our mother. They like to. They give for their calf, and then they always produce more for the people who are looking after them. That's their and when you live with them, you realise that. So it's not exploitation.
And that's exactly the point I was trying to make is, because you're doing this, but if we can support in some way a little bit towards that cause,
Yeah.
that will be the karmas that we should be.
Yeah, that's a karma. Yeah, if you look after these cows, that's a karma. Yeah, at this point in time, we need about $200,000 to build new fences for them and like that. So yeah, if you're a businessman, then please
I'm in the
contribute.
business of getting karmas.
Yeah, if you want to purify those karmas, then
Yeah.
support the cows like that. One man gave $30,000 recently, so we could build the cow shed, and people give us substantial donations. So it's up to you. You can even give $5. That's fine. Whatever you feel inspired. But if you're a business person, if that's what you're doing, then use it for something uplifting and spiritual. So, any other? Yes, madam.
Sorry, Ben. So if that is good karma, or so with your cows and that by ingesting the milk from the industries outside, and that is karma, do you believe that by people eating animals and using their byproducts, that is karmic debt? That you're accumulating like bad karma, I guess, on a spiritual level? Yeah, like could you then work it off? If you've been a part of that.
Oh, you mean in our past? We ate meat and we did all those things.
Yeah.
Can you burn that off?
Yeah.
Yeah, of
As
course.
a karmic debt.
Yeah.
Work that off by.
Yeah, Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, he says, Savakama, no, that's not the verse. He says, Savadaman Parijaja Mamikam Sharanambraja Aham Tvam Sava Papa Yabhyo Mokshi Yashami Masucha. So Sava Papa means bad activities, bad things. Like, we all ate meat, and, when I was a kid, I worked at McDonald's. It's kind of as bad as it can get. Well, no, it's not as bad it would be working in the abattoir. That's as bad as it can get. But, working at McDonald's is not good. But as a kid, I didn't know. And then, I became a Hare Krishna, and then, the thought of it could never cross my mind ever again. So, because now I'm living a pure life and I understand what's right and what's wrong, and I follow the correct path, then Krishna says moksha. Moksha means liberation. So he dissolves all of that bad karma, lifetimes of bad karma, things that we did which were negative. He brings them down to a very small reaction, and then he gives you a token. So it's like if you go to Disneyland or something, they give you tokens. You put it in, then you can get through. So it means you'll only get like a token of the karma that you should have got. So even Prabhupada, our founder, like sometimes he cut his finger or something, and he said, actually I should have cut my whole arm. But Krishna's very kind, he'll just give you a little. So it's like Hare Krishna is like afterlife insurance or car insurance. Yes, madam.
When we had a gentleman who used to be a butcher, and he came and he donated money towards our cows. So that's because he had a realisation after years of working at the worst level that there was something more to it. So he came and said, I want to give this to the cows to maintain the cows, to protect them. So
That's beautiful.
yeah, he's a lovely guy. He comes to visit them every now and then.
Wow.
Yeah, so that.
Yeah, after the feast today, we'll go down to see the cows, and you can pat them and feed them, and you can hang out with them. And they have a very powerful effect on the consciousness if you hang out with the cows, especially these cows. They're very powerful. So, yes, madam.
Wouldn't the rings in their noses hurt them?
It hurts putting them in, yeah. But once they're in, it doesn't hurt. It's part of the... We've got two alternatives. We can follow the modern system or we can follow the ancient system. So our bulls we're going to train to plough the fields. So we can either use a tractor, right? And if you use a tractor, there's a lot of damage which is done on the environment. Right? They use diesel to create the machine like that. Or you can use a bull, right? And the bull, he gives dung back to the earth, he fertilizes the ground, he doesn't give off, I mean, you can say the methane, like that, but they just naturally, they don't impact the earth in an artificial way, right? So our plan is to train the bulls so that we can use them to till the earth as opposed to using the tractor and that kind of thing. Bulls are very powerful and they can kill you in an instant. So the reason we put the ring there, and that's been done for thousands of years, is because once you've got him by the ring, you can control him, right? So it's part of the, it does hurt, it's like getting your ear pierced, it hurts, but then after a couple of days it's like that. So it does hurt putting the ring in, but then once it's in, it doesn't hurt him. And then we train them, and then eventually, usually you can even get to a point where many of the bulls can just operate on voice command. You don't even have to touch the ring. But sometimes, you have to. So it's animal husbandry. So it's a matter of you've got to make a choice, So of course. So some people come in and they say, "Oh, you're doing this to the bulls and all that." But look at the industry of the tractors. In India, in the last 20 years or so, 200,000 farmers have committed suicide. Right? These are actual facts. Right? And the reason is because they're Monsanto and corporations like this are just using tractors, right, and just giving them seeds and so forth. And it's like this mass kind of productivity of artificial agriculture instead of just using the bulls. 100 guys coming in using 200 bulls. Instead of doing that, they get one guy can do the same work with a tractor. All the other guys are unemployed. They don't know what to do, and then they go into debts, and it's complicated. So we'd rather go this way, and it does have some faults. There's some things. But then the other way is, in our opinion, is far worse. So that's why.
Also too, with the tractors, being in India, because a lot of areas of India, and now most of India, won't legally kill them. They're out on the streets left to starve and not protected, so disease and starvation affect them. So again, they need to be utilised in, and bulls like stimulation, they're like us, they're emotional, they're intelligent, so they need to be engaged. They get bored just standing out in the paddock, so they like a challenge, they like to be stimulated. So also working them gives them that, because they've got all that masculine energy there that needs to be channeled and harvested into something. And so if it's not utilised, then they'll look for trouble for girls and breaking fences and, you know, what young teenage boys would do, yeah. So they're non-different, so we need to engage them in some stimulation. So working them, they actually enjoy, they actually like to be worked. So, and the nice thing, we can get ones that just clip in as well. It depends on the nature of the bull. Some don't have it because they're more passive natured, but then others, like humans, are a bit more gung-ho or things like that. And it's, yeah, as Keshava said, it's a safety thing for the bull as well as us as well, because, yeah, you know, 1 second, if you get caught between a bull and a post, you know, you're in serious trouble, but also the bull can hurt themselves as well. So it's a way of, and it's used as a pure last resort. And just initially in training, you can just touch it because their noses, you know, will feel it, and then they go, okay, and then they back off and they understand. So it's just, when you've got all that energy and all that weight behind it, there has to be some check and balance for their safety and ours. So that's purely the only reason we do that. But it's the best alternative to anything else.
Can I just add something? I just had the opportunity to spend some months in India, and it's so beautiful to see how that culture is so present everywhere. Like when someone at the back was saying, like, well, this philosophy introduced just, 40, 50 years ago by Prabhupada, but we get to hear how this thing going on for 5,000 years or probably more. At the same time, like we ignore like what the culture used to be, and we're just so familiar with what we have been seeing for the last 50 years when green agriculture was introduced and machinery and a lot of things. And Keshava was saying this high number of farmers committing suicide, and it's so many things behind that. It's like the pressure of paying loans in the bank and that, and then suddenly the harvest wasn't what they were expecting, and then just people just go and get the first chemical they find in the shed and just drink it because of that. But when you get to see, like, the system there with the cow, making the cow patties, use it as a fuel to cook their food. I actually heard this, like, when we cook food using cow dung, which I never kind of thought either. It said like it's high quality, it's the highest quality that we can ever get to get all the energy on the food. When we use wood, it said it's considered second quality. When we use gas, electricity is considered third quality, and then when we use gas, it's the last one. That's pretty much what we use nowadays to cook our food, and that's why we probably don't get as much energy as we're supposed to be getting what we eat. But yeah, just adding to the system, we tend to think, oh, you're putting those poor animals just to work hard in the forest. That's what they're for. That's what they have been doing for thousands of years. It's not like the tractor or the saver. It was just pretty much the troublemaker for the whole community and culture. But it's nice to go and see and live there, or see from such an ancient culture how they utilize all those elements, and they just have such a beautiful lifestyle, and everybody's happy. The animals are happy, the children are happy, the parents are happy, just with that simple living.
Anything else? Is anyone hungry?
Yeah.
Enthusiastic group. I've got a magazine here. You can take this for free if you want. It's a Hare Krishna magazine. It tells you what we do all over the world. It's got some amazing stories of some of the things. Even before I read, I didn't even know some of the stuff that we were doing around the world. So it's great. If you want it, it's just here. It's free. Come and get it. If you'd like something to eat, just go out the door, turn right, and we'll serve you a nice feast. And after the feast, if you want, you can come and visit our cows with us. If you're not hungry, we'll see you next time. If you are hungry, then eat as much as you can, because we cooked on it.